I forgot to say, those of you that aren't the four of us, feel free to leave your cameras on, turn them off, whatever makes you feel comfortable. You won't be in our version of the recording. I was meant to say that before, still letting some people in. Okay, let's get going. Welcome everyone to SEO Office Hours. My name is Michael Chidzey. I'm an SEO here at Good Signals. And part of what we do, along with special guests, are these office hour sessions where people can jump in and ask their questions around their website and web search. By the way, nobody here is in the hot seat and we might not know all the answers, but multiple heads thinking about a problem should help. We've had a bunch of questions submitted already, as you can see, which we'll go through. But if there's anybody here live on the call who would like to ask any questions, please feel free to flag yourself in the chat functionality, which will be monitored. Also, there's usually lots of other amazing SEOs live on the call who share their ideas, experiences, and perspectives. I personally think that's one of the best things about SEO office hours is not just hearing from the four of us, but hearing from everybody else. So please continue to do it because it really makes it. Thank you. And like always, with me today is Juliana Turnbull, also known as SEO Joe Blogs. Morning.
Hello, Mike, and hello, everyone, for joining us today. We've got an international SEO office hours. We've got Spain, Nigeria, we've got Bangladesh, people joining in from Germany, the Netherlands as well. Hi, Gatsy from South Africa, too. If there is a country that we haven't said, please write it in the chat. As Mike said, I'm Juliana Turnbull, and I run events in person and sometimes online. We've got our next Search Barcelona event in Barcelona on October 14th. If anyone's just happens to be in the city, come over to our event. We'll be learning all about how to generate leads outside of Google, so not be dependent on that big, massive search engine. And we've got, as Mike said, a lot of questions to get through today. Thank you very much, everyone, for always adding them into the chat. I have people asking questions and people answering. So if you are not joining us live, you are watching the show, click a like on the YouTube video and on our channel to subscribe to any more shows. And you can also join us live 9:30 a.m. British summertime every Friday. We've got two special guests on the show today. Thank you very much for joining us. We have Muyiwa and we also have Success. Thank you for calling in and being on our show today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's good to be here.
So I'll introduce you, Muyiwa. So you are an SEO consultant and you're a specialist, SEO consultant specialist. You're based in Lagos. And you first became familiar with the digital marketing when you were working as an SEO writer. And through that experience, you decided to fully pursue a career in digital marketing and you developed further skills through the Freelance Coalition for Developing Countries. I believe you are an active member in that community and you also achieved, that's great. And you've achieved some great results by working in the community, by learning those skills through the community. I believe one of your case studies was you grew the traffic from basically nothing to over 700,000 organic visits and 20 million impressions over a short time period. That's quite impressive, Muyiwa. How did you manage to do that?
I would say, first of all, I was naive initially, but with my prior knowledge and then with my experience or learnings from FCDC codes, because they paired me with top SEO specialists in UK. So they were the ones who taught me on page, and then also they also provided the opportunity for me to take the technical SEO course on Blue Array SEO, which is also situated in UK. Those gave me the confidence and then the knowledge. And then I bought the domain, and because I intentionally bought the domain in the gaming niche, because I do play games back some few years back, but I do less of that now. So by that, I had a serious interest in that, and I consistently post content about the games which I play, and from 0 to 700 organic traffic. That was how it happened. So I don't the website anymore currently because I'm focusing on another aspect of SEO.
Well, thank you. That's very impressive. And it's great that there are lots of different trainings at the FCDC. So thank you so much for joining us. You've also worked in many different sectors, health, automotive, gaming, news, and jewelry. I'm going to share also your LinkedIn profile here with everyone so they can connect with you later or even now during the show. And thank you for joining us today. I will be introducing now. You're welcome. Hello, Success. Thank you for being again on our show today. You're an SEO content strategist. You're based in Ogbomoso, Nigeria, and you also help B2B SaaS brands. You help them to grow their organic traffic and also their MRR, monthly recurring revenue, by purely on content strategies. You've also worked with companies like keyword.com through VideoWise and RankTacker. You also worked at marketing agencies, content marketing agency, and you're a contributor, a writer for publications such as Hacker Noon and Moz. And you run a YouTube series called Hang Out with Success. I like that one. Can you share that YouTube link with us? I don't believe we have that.
All right. I guess I'm going to share my YouTube link and my LinkedIn profile link with you right
I have
away.
your LinkedIn. Thank you. I've just shared in the chat. Thank you. If you have
Okay.
your YouTube, yeah, please feel free to share that in the chat with everyone.
All right. I will do just that. Thank
Great.
you.
Thank you. And you're also an active member of the FCDC. I've also just shared the link to the FCDC so everyone can find out more about this digital and online community, helping free support for BIPOC professionals launching their careers or seeking guidance to grow in digital marketing. Have a look at the FCDC. It is run and founded by Chima. She's been growing it for many years now. I think it's over 4 years, and yeah, they've achieved quite a significant amount. If you want to partner with them, if you'd like to sponsor a cohort, please just go onto the website or on LinkedIn there, and also contact Chima. I'm sure she'll be happy to hear from you. So we have lots of questions in the chat today. Thank you, Success and Muya. We're going to go back to Mike because he's got all of the questions for us to answer today.
Great. Joe, how was SEO FOMO? Have you just literally got in, or?
Do I look that bad?
No, I'm joking. But it was in Barcelona last night, right?
Yes, it was very good. Yeah, it was a great event. So this was obviously a lady, so Lisa's SEO FOMO, her newsletter. Then she puts an event together. And the first actual in-person event was SEO FOMO in January 2024, so just over a year and a half ago in Barcelona. And then she's had it in Amsterdam, Melbourne, as well as New York and London. And then this last night, she also came back to Barcelona. So yeah, we had quite a few people attend, over 100 and so signups. And yeah, it was great to have 3 different panels in Spanish and in English because we are in Spain. So we will do things bilingually. And there'll be another one hopefully soon. We don't know where.
Cool, amazing. Success, just so you know, I can't see you at the moment, which is totally fine if you'd rather have your camera off, but if just in case you don't know, or maybe you're not there anymore, I don't know. We'll soon find out.
And Success just shared your
You're
YouTube
back,
channel.
amazing.
Thank you.
Cool. So one question that I can answer, somebody's asked, where is the answer to my question? I'm so sorry, we're a little bit behind on getting SEO office hours up on YouTube because we had a break and I didn't want to put them up one after another. And unfortunately, if you don't leave your email, then I can't send you any information about it, but I will try and get them up as quickly as possible. So that's a telling off for me. So sorry about that. But they are coming, I promise. Okay, next question. In AI mode and tools like ChatGPT's deep research mode, businesses often get summarized based on historic reviews. For us, that means old negatives like inconsistent service or noisy environment, despite a full change of management. Is there a way to shift that narrative so that AI answers reflect the business as it is today without having to do a complete rebrand? We actually had a similar question last week. Have either of you, or has anybody had a play with AI mode? Have you got any thoughts on this one? Who would like to kick off?
Yeah.
Oh, you are,
I
go
do
for it.
have, I do have it substantial because I've used ChatGPT deep search mode. But specifically to the question, when it comes to how they could change the ties, I think the first step is for them to try to improve their brand reputation and how best they could do reviews. And one thing I've seen is that not just getting the reviews is like the only key thing. You have to ensure that it's consistent. The review have to come in consistently and not just one in 1 month and then it takes about, let's say, 2, 3 months before you get another review. It has to be consistent. And then with that, I believe, because of course, OpenAI and some other LLMs crawl Google search results, and with that they will be able to see that this business is a new one, and of course it has new perspective or customers are sharing new perspective about the business, and then you can get to be shown in that area. Another aspect which I also seen, because I had to carry out a particular search campaign for a business, a logistic business, and for the first few weeks after the whole optimization was done, the business ranked and all, but it was just few posts, and then the whole campaign stopped there based on some kind of some kind of conversation issue which was ongoing. And because of the whole campaign was paused, the visibility eventually got wiped out on both the AI overviews and even the search engine result pages. So that consistently in publication, in optimization, it's very key. Just like how Danny Sullivan has said it prior, you still have to do the normal things you do in SEO just to show up in AI mode or in AI overviews. Unlike how Google paints it for GEO, AEO, and the rest like that. You still have to do the traditional SEO well and then consistently also.
Great. Just go for it. Success. Go.
All right. All I would just like to add to what Muyiwa said. I think recently I was actually watching a YouTube video by a top SEO expert, and he was sharing something that right now, I guess Mark Cook also shared something like that on his LinkedIn post, something related to this old GEO, this old HEO and everything. Everybody's having their HEO stuff like that. It's just traditional practices that we have before. So just to get your visibility on this AI mode, this LLM is just like you are just stepping up your game in what you've been doing before. And what I tell my clients in terms of ranking on AI mode, ranking on AI overview, is just to optimize search everywhere. Just put your brand out there, and that is increasing your brand mentions across multiple platforms. So for example, platforms like Reddit, YouTube, these community forums like that, they tend to be the platforms whereby this LLM go out to get the answer. So I just basically advise my client and be virtually optimize that's increase brand mention across multiple platforms that LLMs get their answers. Think about Reddit, think about YouTube. And right now we know that AI overview, AI mode are also getting the answers from Facebook and Instagram, because I ran a research report last week and I discovered that AI LLMs are getting the answers even from Facebook right now, from Facebook and from Instagram. So not just YouTube anymore, not just Reddit. So increase your brand mentions, get mentioned on multiple platforms, Reddit, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and all of these platforms, and have much more positive reviews on your Google business profile and stuff like that. And also definitely produce quality content. I won't beat down that. The more quality your content, the more quality content you push out there, the more the visibility you have on those LLMs platform. And that's what I would just add to it.
Great. Joe, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I would just say that for this one.
Yeah, I do have some. Okay. Oh, Joe.
I just want to say here regarding with the reviews. So we said about negative AI mode, tools like ChatGPT and deep research mode, businesses often get summarized based on historic reviews. So we don't know if that person has actually replied to these reviews. We're thinking these might be either Google My Business reviews or reviews through a third-party company. So if you've only got negative reviews, they talked about a change of management, but having to do a complete rebrand, it would be like just answer those negative reviews. It's always important to do that. And also make sure that you've got some more positive reviews. If those reviews were a few months old, make sure you get some new ones so that you've got this fresh content there. And that's relevant for just any search engine and anybody looking for your brand, not necessarily AI. So I would recommend focusing on updating your reviews or getting more reviews and answering any negative ones, because it's fine to have negative reviews, but people do read the negative reviews and they read the answers from the company as well.
Great. I was just writing in the chat, but I might as well just share. Sorry, I rewrote the question and I've realized I missed out the fact that it looks like a restaurant hotel and they specifically mentioned TripAdvisor in the original question. So I'm sorry that I didn't help with that. I think with this stuff, I had something similar actually for a client, but not in that industry. And obviously, as time goes on, there'll be more reviews, fresh content, and all of that stuff. One idea I did have was that if they're so a bit like this, where they've basically said there's reviews that says basically noisy environment. If they've got multiple reviews saying that over a certain period, maybe they could publish something explaining like the changes that they've made and things like that. And I wonder if they've made it clear on their site that they are under new management and these are the things that they've done to they've noticed they've had lots of reviews about inconsistent services going back years ago, and actually these are the things that they've put in place to stop that from happening, such as hiring I don't know, I don't really understand restaurants, but a head of the restaurant or something who's specifically about ensuring that certain KPIs around the quality of service from staff or food or whatever it is always consistent. So maybe just being transparent online about that, and I think you could potentially do that. I think it was Success that said about actually on the reviews by replying to them, or you could actually do it on your website where maybe you have a section that you talk about this is how we're making our hotel better, and just basically timestamping them as well. So even if it's historic issues, you could always sort of date them and say this is what we found and this is what we're doing about it. But because ultimately these LLMs, and I think they mentioned AI mode, that is pulling that information from somewhere. So maybe you could do something to balance out that information. Yeah. Does anybody else have anything else
Mm.
to add? You were going to say something actually.
Yeah, yeah. Just one to add to what you said last. For example, you could check the AI reviews which they are getting and see where the bad reviews have been put. If they have been put at all, see where they have been put from. And if they know the platforms which these bad reviews are on, they can go on there and just like how she commented to you reply or respond to them either for a change of environment or tell them things that have changed around the business. What I intended to add prior was the fact that I saw an experiment somebody did, which was on AI, and it was a live, fully recorded experiment. He checked Google Notebook, and then his brand was not showing up. And there was a way because I haven't run the experiment on my own, I just watched the video of the experiment. But there was a way he did it, and then just within a few couple of minutes, Google Notebook was able to crawl his business and could cite his business like couple of times. So I don't know if I can share the YouTube link to that video. So if anybody wants to watch that and to see how they can add that to their arsenal when it comes to SEO and AI, think that will help a lot because it actually worked and you could see it in the video that it wasn't there before, but after a few minutes that the guy did his whole thing, it came up. So you can just follow this process to see how he did that and then you see how it turns out for you. But I'm
Yeah,
very sure it will, of course, be positive.
I was gonna say, yeah, that would be great. If you could put that in the link in the chat, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I was just thinking as well, I guess, particularly with a property, it is, I guess you bought the business. So although you might have a new management, or maybe you actually mean you've just got new senior managers, I'm not sure. But it is an existing business, I'm guessing. So I guess those reviews, it's about the same place, and I'm sure you have some of the same stuff. It makes sense that you still have that there that people have mentioned when they've been there before. It's quite noisy. I don't know. With this thing, I was thinking that maybe you've also benefited from having lots of reviews and benefited from the reputation that this place has also got, the fact that there is a TripAdvisor profile, and I'm guessing it ranks. And so I think you could probably look at it in both ways. But I think the more reviews you can get, particularly fresh ones, the better. Joe, is there anything
Yeah.
to chat?
Yeah, and Jordan made a good point. He said that TripAdvisor, he said that they are quite good when it comes to review management. He's contacted their support team before when he used to work for a hotel that went through a change of management, and they were understanding. So they removed the historic reviews for that company that were from the previous management. So I think it really, I'm not trying to use a certain word. So I would say if it is a restaurant that you have taken over, I think you mentioned this, Michael, that you should promote the fact that it's under new management, and you could address, if you want, somewhere on the site that, oh, I understand there were some negative reviews around X, Y, and Z. We have resolved that. Please let us know if you have any other further comments. You mentioned that on this website, but it's still, as I mentioned before, go back to those previous reviews, and you can, if TripAdvisor do not remove them, make sure that those are addressed. Say, oh, thank you for your concern, or thank you for your comment. We now have a new management. I just wanted to say another one comment from Simon. Simon says that bad reviews hang around like a bad smell. AI really likes the fresh info. So do make sure that you are getting good reviews now by being a better business. And also, a third point, people will understand if it's a new management. They will forgive and forget. I think, Victoria, you mentioned that as well, that people are, let me just go back to Victoria's comment. Sorry, I saw this, that people want to support others. They want to move on. And lots of other comments in there, that if you're under new management, it's fine. You can build some great reviews. John said that new reviews won't necessarily be perfect if you're new to the business. So that's the downside of actually having a brand new business. I think that's it, actually.
Yeah, give it a year. You might actually prefer the rating and what they were saying right now. Who knows? Okay, I love some of the photos that's coming through on the chat. It's great. If you're watching after on YouTube, you should come and join us live. Honestly, it's so much more fun. Okay, next question. So this one I think is a quick one. I'm going to try and answer it, but correct me if I'm wrong. So somebody's basically asking about the Google Web Guide, and they said that they've read about it, but they haven't actually come across them yet. What are the keywords to trigger them? Are they only live for certain users, locations, or devices? And are there any tips for spotting or tracking them? I think it's just in test mode at the moment, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Search Labs, you've got yeah. Success, you're agreeing with me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Great. Unless anyone can say otherwise, I think that's the situation with that. Okay, next question. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, in the chat. This one is okay. All right. Okay. AI auto blogger tools that allow me to publish regular keyword optimized content with minimal human involvement, often based on what's trending or popular on competitors' websites, sounds like a dream. My gut says this won't build the kind of authority or trust we need long term, but I've actually been impressed with the output so far. Am I right to drop this idea, or is there a way to actually make this work? And then the follow-up question, if AI starts generating and optimizing content automatically, how do we stop it from turning into drab rather than authority? So two kind of very similar questions there. Joe, you got your hand up. Go for it. It's your
I do, because it's
You asked this question. Is this I'm just joking.
No, because okay, so the first one really, sorry, I'm back to my notes. I've done SEO for a long time. Does anyone know about Article Spinner? Like back in the day, people would like put articles in, and I would spin, you come up with different articles. Or does anyone know, before internet, thing called plagiarism, where you could copy loads of text and put it in your thesis or stuff like that? It's like you can't this is not correct. It's not correct. And so you have to actually come up with your own proper content, original content. And when a person says, my gut says this won't build the kind of authority and trust we need in the long term, please listen to your gut. It's really important. If it's not correct, it's not correct. So yes, drop the mic, drop this. It's not gonna work. It's a bad idea from the beginning. If you really have some time, you can do a test site. You've been saying that you do a lot of testing. I think this person could do some testing, but AI is not gonna. Unfortunately, we're not like the Jetsons. I don't know if anyone saw the show in the 80s, the cartoon, where they have these robots that do everything for them. We're not there yet. We'd like to be. No, you need to train the AI, and that's my 2 cents on that.
Oh, let me add this. Joe is really funny, as he almost called. What I will actually say is that it's just a two-way thing. Number one, the person can actually train a GPT That is, add all necessary information, the product documentation, the ICP details for the GPT, and definitely use those drafts as a first draft. I mean, as a first draft, then you have a human writer to improve on the first draft. That is my advice. And the second thing I would advise the person to do is that the person actually should actually interview SMEs, get experts that are actually key in that topic, get them and interview them, then transcribe their interview and just extract those transcriptions and turn them into your blog post rather than just getting an AI tool that will just spin over stuff in 30 seconds. Fine, there are a lot of AI tools out there that are actually spinning out stuff, but I will still recommend having a human writer because AI can create content that will rank, but AI might not create content that will convert your readers. So you actually need that human input to provide the quality that is needed. But then I just rely solely on AI. I would advise that you just use AI, possibly to just create your first draft, then get a human writer to work on it and give you the quality that you want. That's what I would just say to it.
Okay, just to something I said, as at far back as I think 2 years ago, I ran some tests when it comes to AI content and ranking. And just like what many people have seen, you eventually get that skyrocketing traffic, and eventually the traffic goes down. 2 years back, of course, I would say do not try it because, of course, it's going to end with tears. So, but today, with what I've seen people do, it's possible, but the human review or human editing aspect has to be there. Let's say about AI will not even necessarily do about 50% of it, but you as a human have to be in all the process, like all through. And secondly, what I see is that prompting is also the name of the game here. It depends on how well you can prompt, how well you can instruct the AI or LLM rather to deliver content that will actually follow your speaking style, tone, tonality, voice when you write or when you speak. So that's also key because you don't want it to just write and then keep putting dash and then keeps putting ing in everything it says. You want it to imitate your own voice. And then aside that, what I've also seen online is that, or even practically, initially I thought every LLM was just the same as ChatGPT. But recently, after seeing it on a couple of posts on Twitter that Claude is better, I sought to experiment with many of them. Gemini gave a poor output. OpenAI initially I thought was the best, but I found out that OpenAI isn't good when it comes to even writing. And I will give an example of that. If OpenAI gives you a content or generates a content for you, if you take the content to a text editor, a text tool such as Sublime, you will discover that it drops or leaves some encoded data in the text, and you as a human being won't be able to see it. But if you post that on your website, of course, search engines won't be able to see it because of course they are dealing with programs and codes and all. So that's also putting its advantage because it will give Google and other search engines that, oh, this content is written by AI, and you don't want that to be. And so based on my experience, what actually delivered a good content that actually follows your tonality and speaking and writing style is Claude. So I haven't seen so far any other LLM that beats it. So even if you want to experiment on this part, I would advise you go straight for Claude. Though yes, it's expensive, but it delivers the best compared to other LLM. But yes, you have to still be in the process. It's a must. It's not see it as if even in fact you should not even see it as the complete writer. You have to come in at every process, the drafts, the editing. It can of course do everything, but you have to monitor, give it guides where necessary because if not, it's just going to go astray based on different factors which come in play when LLMs are being trained.
Great. I totally agree with everybody. I would say your gut's right. Oh no, we've lost success. I'm sure we'll be back. I guess I'd say to the person asking the question, that I would go with your gut in this situation. That I think these tools are amazing to help with research and help you with improving that content, but relying solely on these tools to be auto creating and posting and so on, it feels if your brand's important to you, then I don't think that I agree with Joe. That's probably not the way to go about doing it. And if you don't have the time, maybe finding a copywriter who understands your industry, understands your customers, and that you can help also train and develop and so on, that could be a way. Like I work with goodness knows how many copywriters, and I still do today. And I just because of LLMs and so on, I don't work with less of them. It's just the quality is so much better because they can use these tools and with parts of it. Joe, did you have anything else to add or
No, I
anything
don't
in
have
the chat?
anything else to add. We've got lots of things lots of comments in the chat. So I'll ask, I will reply to those and share those comments, lots of chats from Simon. So he mentioned that if you're not very good at prompting, so use AI to build your prompts. So you can prompt AI and that will bring you up to average. That one tip. Mark showed a really different graph, like being increasing in traffic and then completely dropping. That's basically maybe someone did some article spinning and wrote loads of content and then Google discovered this plagiarism or this is not good and then dropped them out the rankings. So basically, if it's the summary is if you don't think it's correct and your gut's telling you, then don't do it. Victoria says that it's important to make sure that you adhere to the best writing techniques and strategy. Don't just write for the sake of it. We've also got, you can fine tune some of the content. We've got Gideon saying that you can fine tune some of the content written within IA, written by IA, how the content should resonate with your business. So I think it's about using AI to, I think Dan Taylor mentioned this actually in Search Engine Journal. It's working, it's enhancing your SEO. It's not replacing, but you can't just use it to do a whole article. Use it to help you to write the article, come up with some ideas, and then you can edit it. Jordan's talking about it's a marathon, not a sprint. And John said that a lot of value in running a business is actually building for the long term. Short-term hacks mean you always have to chase issues and find new hacks. You don't build value, you just have to churn. And also, this is very time consuming. So Muyiwa was talking to us about earlier today that he was doing lots of testing. So why not practice this? Do a bit of testing and seeing what works best for you for the long term, not these short-term hacks. Yeah, so loads of comments in the chat. Thanks everyone. And yeah, we just answered 4 questions. We've got 20 minutes left, Mike.
Okay, cool. I did get the question though. I think sometimes because we all work in online marketing and we're all kind of SEOs and so on, I think to us it just makes sense not to do that. But if you're a founder or an owner of a small business and this running your website or whatever isn't your day to day, and you hear about LLMs, you probably use them and actually think, is this a way of doing it? I do get why people ask those questions. So feel free to keep asking and we'll give you some direction on them. Yeah, no question's a bad one. Okay, next one. I'm featuring a product for, okay, so I'll start again, sorry. When I'm featuring a product for the newsletter, I review all the blogs and make sure any add-ons, accessories are still live. I know internal links that don't work are bad for SEO, but we have a lot of stuff like this. 4 of those 5 pages are no longer available. I'll get to them all in time, but is there an SEO tool to flag them all in one go so that I can replace them? So in internal links, go for it.
All right. On this particular question, so I think early this year, I was able to freelance on a particular project for a company in the Asian continent, and they had issues with internal linking. They had over about 50,000 or more than 50,000 pages, and they needed me to come up with ensure that it has the necessary internal linking. But literally, none of the pages has any internal linking, over more than 50,000. And so it will be tedious for me to, of course, go individually to all pages and then start including internal linkings when necessary. So what measures which I brought in play was to use the tool called Link Whisper, but it was the pro version which I used because the free version is limited when it comes to functionality. And with the pro version, with just a click of the button, you can assign quality or relevant internal linking to several posts which are on the website, and it won't take you up to say even 30 minutes. That's if its pages are up to 50,000. But if it's, let's say, on something under 100, 300, I bet it should be done within 10 minutes because it will makes the whole process much more easier. And it also has the functionality for AI, which it will use AI to scout or scrape or crawl all your websites to know what your content is about, which areas you need internal linking, and what posts you've published in that regards on that same website. And of course, it will show you where you could easily just with a click of a button, just click, and then the internal linking will happen natural. And of course, when I did this for this particular business, the traffic of course went up. Yeah, so it's quite helpful, and there's no any kind of a drawback or repercussion from region of such to, even though it happens so fast. But yeah, you don't get penalized for including internal linking in that kind of a lot of internal links in that kind of short period. So yeah.
Success, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, I'll basically say for me, I use moves. I use moves to actually get internal linking recommendations for that's the tool I use basically for my client. I just use the tool, I plug in the website, so it analyzes the site and actually helps me to figure out pages that needs more internal links. So I do this often and it just makes the process seamless for me. I don't know. So if you can just head over to Moves Link Explorer, the tool works well for me and you can actually use it I use it basically for my internal linking process and it makes it seamless. Although I heard about someone using, sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, yeah, go for it.
All right. So basically, I heard about someone using. There's a guy that I actually work with that actually used Google spreadsheet and also uses Screaming Frog. So I've not tried it, but I'm going to try it one of these days because I also heard it actually works well too. But basically, most link explorers makes the process easy for me, and I just use the tool, and it's just it highlights everything, and I'm good to go.
Great. Joe, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I just shared Success, the link to Moz, and also an article, internal links that Shima wrote. I actually recommend InLinks. This is set up by Dixon Jones, so you can assess like the links to that site or to within your site, look at the pages, and you can also see if there's any broken internal links too. You can also see any broken links as well. You should be able to see them in Google Search Console too. So that would be a quick way to do that. Yeah, and if it's just 4 or 5, because I'm just thinking, oh, and Ramanis actually said that if an email has already been sent and there are links in that are dead, it's out of your hand. But the links are there and you can redirect them. So if they're linking to something on your site, you can of course check that. Just make sure that you check, of course, the links within the URL, within the email newsletter are actually correct and live. Just checking one other thing. Yeah, so the SEO tool you can use is Moz, InLinks, and you can use Google Search Console as well.
I find whenever I do a Screaming Frog crawl or one of the other crawler, using one of the other tools that crawls, often you can pick up things like any broken links. And just looking at what Rob said about the sort of question that says that it's bad for SEO, I agree with Rob. I don't know whether it's necessarily bad for SEO. It just feels it would just be quite frustrating, I think, for users and maybe more of a wasted opportunity rather than necessarily bad for the site. 404s are just like a very normal thing on a website, especially if it's a big one. What I got from this question was actually when they're doing their newsletter and they're featuring a product, they're looking at all the related links around that product, and therefore it's broken. So I don't think they've sent the email. Not that it matters too much, but I don't think they've sent the email. I think it's a case of as they're doing it, and they've obviously got a lot of products. Great. Do we have anything else before we move on to the next question? Flying through them now.
Flying through. No, let's move on. That was a good point by Rob that you picked up. No, we've got just everyone that's enjoying the show, just click a like on the video once it goes live and previous videos, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And those that are not watching us live, sign up on the Good Signals website. It will be a link on the homepage, and you can get an invite that Michael sent to you, so you can join us at 9:30 a.m. every BST every Friday.
So let me just add something or one more. Somebody asked a question in the comment and he asked if Link Whisper actually recommends or implement. I would say it's both because of course it will first crawl your website and then it will show you the list of relevant posts which you can click or make sure you or implement an internal link with. And then when you click yes or when you click accept, it does it for you in batches. So it will show you the list of possible pages which you can link together or where you can link in those pages. Then you can click to accept it and then to do it for you. For the AI aspect, I believe it does it for you automatically. So you don't need to stretch, you have to go through all post manually. So it's quite easy.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
We've had a couple of questions. Every now and then we get almost like rants. I'm not going to read them out, but thanks for sharing just about more so issues just with SEO and with us as SEOs. So I don't know Getting some interesting. I've got one here, but okay. Next question. I've grouped together some link building questions because we've not really spoken about link building in a while, and they have been building up. So these are all related. Feel free to take one, take all three, whatever you think. What are the most effective ways people are building high quality backlinks? Question: do you still do link building in the age of AI? And the other question is, when prospecting for link opportunities in 2025, how do you assess whether a website is still valuable? Especially now, there are so many flooded with AI generated content. What actually makes a link authoritative in today's landscape? Are we still putting too much emphasis on domain level metrics like DR or DA? Three questions there. Who would like to kick off?
All right,
Go for it,
let me start.
Success.
All right, let me start with this. I want everyone to actually know that, irrespective of whatever is going right now, links are still valuable in this age. That is the fundamental thing. Fine, we have that links are no longer relevant as before. The old news is all over there, but nevertheless, search engines, especially Google, still use links to vet website authority, and which means links are still valuable. They are still very tangible this time. But actually, someone said something recently that rather than just heading over to backlinks, why don't you push more about brand mentions? Because even right now as it goes, no follow links are also valuable this time. You don't just need to just go after do follow links. You can also, if you have no follow link authoritative website, they also carry much weight this time. And that's why I was talking about brand mentions, getting your brand mentioned on the several platforms. Even though it's a no follow link, it actually works well. Now, concerning strategies for getting links, my number one strategy is creating, I call it link worthy content. Content that has to do with content that naturally generates links. Think about statistical content, research reports, detailed how-to guides, content that naturally generates links, stats, expert reviews. Think of this kind of valuable content. That is my number one strategy for getting links. And number two, I actually advise my client to use SEO tools to identify broken links in their competitor site. So just identify for broken links, and you can actually pitch the content manager if you have a relevant site, a relevant content on your page that can fix that broken link. So pitch the content manager to actually link back to your website. So these are one of the major ways that I get links. Also, sometimes, which is not my go-to point, sometimes I also use these journalist request platforms like this. I help a B2B writer. I provide answers to journalist questions, and they provide the backlinks to my site. Although it's a 50-50 stuff, but it also works very well. And actually, those are major ways to get links this time. Just majorly create valuable content, which I call link-worthy content. Identify broken links in your competitor's website. Also, use SEO tools to identify websites that are providing backlinks to your competitors, and you can also reach out to them and for a link, and also heading over to journalist request platforms to actually provide valuable answers and get backlinks to your site. So I will actually add more later. Let me stop here for now.
Great.
Right.
Do you have anything to add? Go for it.
All right, so to continue from where Success stopped, so I would share about three. I don't want to use the word untapped, of course it's been tapped, but it's not to the fullest extent. So the first means is PR, that's public release. Matt Diggity, I don't know if I get this pronunciation of his name correctly, but there was a time he published something on this. And even before he did publish something on this, I had, while working as the head of link building for an agency in UK, we carried out several campaigns, and one of the most rewarding link building campaigns we carried, which we did, was a PR release. And whether it's a brand for health, for tattoo, for coffee, when you do PR, you reach out to the media agencies in whichever locality you are in, and that they get to publish your content with your link to your site on authoritative news or media platforms. And with that, you don't only get the brand exposure, but you get high authority backlinks from high authority websites already. Another option which I know, or which I personally also do explore, though it's black hat, but I would say it's black hat, is serving as the editor on top the platform like Wikipedia And then probably when you have a client on, let's say, the latest tech release or wherever, whenever they release a product that is related to the niche which you edit on Wikipedia, you go on there, find an article which might make use of and information from the new release which the company has made, and then you write or add to the existing article on the Wikipedia page, and with that you can link back to the website which you carried out the campaign for, and still say something meaningful on the Wikipedia page which will be useful for people to read and find helpful. I did this while working on this gaming website, because then the game was released on a seasonal basis, like every year, and every year comes with a new release, a new version. So I will go on there and then update the Wikipedia page that, oh, this particular game has a new version. If you don't know about it, this is what you need to know about it, blah, 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 this, that. And then at the end, of course, the reference section, I will include a link where it says to the website which I was working on, the gaming website which I was working on then. Another option which I also see, and it's untapped in a way, is directories. People don't use, I don't know if they don't know, but less people use or make use of directory listings or NAP listings. People like, I can't really recall his name, I do forget his name sometimes. He's on YouTube also. I can't remember his name anyways. But you can search for directories on websites in whichever niche you are in. Then with that, when you find those directories, you can list the business which you're carrying out the campaign for. And then with that, you will not only get much more organic visibility, but also a backlink to your website. So yeah, I think I'll stop there for now.
Great. Joe, do you have anything to add?
I'm just conscious of time, so I'm just going to share people's comments on this. So I'll go where I can go on to the question 8, actually, because I've already seen the answer to this one. Prospecting for links. How do you assess whether a site is still valuable? Are we still putting too much emphasis on domain level metrics? We had Victoria wrote a great comment around basically look at the website, you're talking about reviews, look at the reviews, look at what they're doing. If they have more negative reviews and zero proof of actual results, don't link to their site. Do they have any positive reviews? Is the content helpful? If it uses useful tips, then yes. If it doesn't, then probably not. Also look and see if it's updated regularly. That's always a good one to look at. And also in terms of, do you still do link building in the age of AI? Idris just said yes. Yes, it's how you get discovered or crawled. And also maybe just think about links as a way of publicly promoting, finding, so how companies can find you, how users can find you. It's like digital PR. And the other question, which was around what are most effective ways people are building high quality backlinks? We didn't get that. Nobody answered that yet, but in the chat. But really, it's about promoting some of the key factors of your product or service. And if you have the resources, it would be good to invest in a digital PR company, maybe someone like Good Signals. Good Signals do a lot of digital PR, and they can get you some great, well-earned links. And those are all for the long term. 3 minutes left, so I'll pass back to Mike.
I'll pay your mortgage later. Thanks, Joe. I'll be very quick on this, particularly after what Joe just said. I'm a huge fan of link building, and I still get a massive kick when we've come up with a campaign and it features on some of the biggest websites or in, say, newspapers and magazines, and whether it's link building, digital PR, whatever, I love doing that stuff. And one of my tips that I've got is I haven't worked with SEOs for a long time on link building. My approach has always been to come up with an idea or a plan and work with a team to put that together. But then trying to find freelance PRs, or I've worked with PR agencies where they actually help with pitching and using existing relationships and so on. And I've always found, and it's the same with content actually, when I'm writing content, I tend to work with really good content writers as opposed to working with SEO writers. I'm sorry if there are any SEO writers on this call right now. That's just my approach. There's lots of different approaches. Okay, we are at the end. So we have one last question, and we've probably got about 30 seconds each, if that's all right, if you don't mind, which is our regular question. And that's, what are you most excited about in terms of SEO? Success, what are you most excited about in terms of SEO?
I'm excited that we are moving into a age whereby talking about the AI mode. Actually, AI mode right now is currently in my country. I think I saw an update about that. I mean, Nigeria, because basically it was just US and the likes, but Google is already testing AI mode in my country. So I'm so excited. I'm just trying to explore it and see what I've got to bring out around it. So that's the major point right now. So I'm here to just test AI mode in Nigeria and see the responses the result I'm trying to get out of it. Thank you.
Right. Muyiwa, what are you most excited about in terms of SEO?
To not regurgitate what Socrates have said, though yeah, of course, AI is one of the key things which I'm much interested about. But aside that, I think, let me say, is the availability of opportunities currently compared to, let's say, 10 years back when it comes to SEO, SEME, and special thanks to people like Mark William Cook, who has continually produced resources for people who might not have access to these things before, and currently they have access to it now. It has really helped a lot, and I hope me and everyone in the SEO space can continually do this because it's helping and changing lives. So yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Amazing. And you're referring to Mark's amazing technical SEO course on Udemy, I think, right?
Yeah. His course was the only SEO course, the first and only SEO course which I've taken that has covered every little thing about SEO from the beginning to the end. Every other one either cover a bit or half of it. So it was his course that gave me a full knowledge or a comprehensive knowledge about how SEO work from the beginning to the end. And that actually helped me to start the jumpstart my way into the field. So I thank him and of course the FCDC community for bringing this opportunity to light. Thanks.
Amazing. I can also say that course is really good. I did it, I think, last year, and it was great. It's really good. I definitely recommend it. So I'll put it on the YouTube video. Joe, we are over time, but I'm guessing you're excited about events.
Events, but I was going to say community. So just thanks everyone for showing up, being part of our SEO office hours, and what Muyiwa, you just said about Mark William Cook's course. Mark always pays it forward. He does a lot for the community. He shares a lot of knowledge. So thank you very much, everyone, for always being so open and helping others.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you so much. We will stop there. I want to say thank you so much to everybody for joining us live. As I said at the beginning, SEO Office Hours is so much better because you help make it better by sharing your tips and ideas as well. Thank you so much to our speakers. Thank you so much to Joe. Thank you so much to those of you watching afterwards on YouTube. As I keep saying, come and join us live. It's so much better. And thank you to those who submitted the questions. I promise you over the next few weeks, we will get up to date. So when we record them, we'll then publish them straight away. Great. Have a lovely weekend. We'll see you next week. We won't see you next week, Joe, but we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Thank you very much, everyone. Thanks for joining the 78th episode.
Hey, bye, everybody. Have a lovely weekend. Sorry we.
Bye.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for coming.